Hi ladies, this is Jamie. Hey, thanks for watching. You've reached She's Every Day. Today's video is about how to haunt your ex. I know when you go through a breakup, it's so hard. On the one hand, you want to be gracious. You want to show this man that you've moved on, that you don't really care. On the other hand, you are just so upset and maybe you thought this guy was the love of your life and you want him to regret it. So there's kind of both sides of you happening when you go through a difficult breakup. And part of you really wants this guy to realize what he lost. He just crushed your spirit. He broke your heart. You want him to regret it. And in a way, you kind of want to haunt his dreams at night. Not in a bad way, but just in a way that makes him realize, wow, I really lost someone special. So if that's the headspace you're in, I'm going to tell you how to do that. I'm going to give you two scenarios. Scenario number one is if you were a good woman, if you were a high value woman. And I talk a lot about high value women. You can find out all that information on my website, She's Every Day. I will link it in the description below. I have a couple of e-courses where I talk about how to be a truly high value woman, how to stand out above the rest, not just to perfect yourself and be a woman of excellence, but this guy will notice, your ex will notice, and many other amazing men will notice too. But if you were already this really wonderful, amazing, high value woman, he's going to regret it anyway over time. Now, it depends on how you handle the breakup, how quickly you're going to start haunting your ex. You need to handle it with grace. You need to handle it with silence and go into no contact. I have a video that I just did called How to Win a Breakup Through Grace and Silence. Get that video or get my e-course. It will kind of tell you a little bit more about that. Let's relate it to a fireplace for a moment. Everyone loves a fireplace. It's warm, it's glowing, the flames are dancing. It just feels really good. You were that woman. If you were a high value woman, you were that fireplace to him. You were cozy, you brought peace, you brought warmth, you brought security. You were also dazzling and bright and playful and fun. You were mysterious, you were all of it. But he didn't appreciate it. He didn't realize what he had. Maybe he took you for granted. This man did not realize all that it took for you to be that shining, dazzling, caring, compassionate, faithful, loving, chill woman. He didn't realize what all it took for you to be her. And let's face it, ladies, it takes a lot for us to keep that fire burning, to keep ourselves at the top of our game, to show up every single day as a woman of quality, excellence, as a high value woman. It's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Every man and woman would be a woman or a man of such excellence and grandeur of spirit and high quality, and they're just not. We get very sloppy sometimes, we get very lazy, and we fall into habits, patterns, character traits, a lot of which are flawed. And we don't always show up as our best selves. And let's say you showed up as your best self so often and he didn't appreciate what it took. Well, once you just leave him with grace and silence, you just walk out of the relationship and say, hey, I respect that this isn't what you want right now, or you're not willing to give me what I deserve. You're not willing to be intentional or purposeful and committed to this relationship. So I'm just going to respect that and I'm going to walk away and do my own thing. Trust me, over time, he is going to regret that decision. You will begin to haunt his dreams by default. And you've done absolutely nothing other than go on with life, continually being this warm, wonderful fire glow. And he's going to miss that, especially on the nights when it's lonely and it's dark and it's cold, or he's with some other woman and she's crazy or selfish or bitter or jealous. He's going to miss what he had. Something else you can also do is be even better. Transform into more of a high value woman. So this guy looks back and sees you and he's like, wow, she was really great. You know what? She had 4 flaws, but this girl I'm with now has 20, and I was nitpicking her 3 flaws or 4 flaws that you had. Gosh, I shouldn't have done that because they really weren't that big of a deal. Well, guess what? Now you show up on your social media in a way that he is going to notice, and trust me, he will notice, And you've worked on those 4 flaws that you had, and you've become even better. You didn't improve yourself so that he would notice. You didn't improve yourself for him. You did it for yourself because you thought, you know what? I'm a woman of quality. I'm a woman of excellence, and I don't want to be sloppy in any area of my life. And if this is an area that I'm not particularly proud of, let me improve it. Let me maybe be more kind instead of rude, or whatever the issue was, you get even better. Then he has no excuse. See, he's trying to convince himself that, well, you had some flaws and you weren't all that great, to try to make himself feel better about losing the best thing that he ever had. But when you perfect those few flaws, now he's got nothing. He looks at you and goes, wow, now she's even better than she was. Instead of her getting more bitter or angry when I left, she's risen to a whole new level. You see, ladies, high value people inspire other people to be high value. So if you're a high value woman, you will inspire a man to be that way. Now, I'm not saying that every man will put forth the effort and change and transform themselves to be that man, but they want to be. Every man wants to be the guy who is respected. He wants his woman to look at him and go, wow, I respect you so much. You're such a great guy. He wants that, but he may not have been willing to put in the effort to be that guy. You inspired him to be him, but he just dropped the ball. So now he has to look back at you and go, wow, not only is she transformed to be even better, I lost her. I lost the future I could have had with her. I lost the amazing lifestyle that she's living now, because if you get my e-course, I'm going to tell you to post that amazing life online so he can see it. He's also going to be thinking, I lost future me. In other words, this guy is going to say, I could have been that guy with her because she challenged me to be better. She inspired me to be better. She brought value into my life and encouraged me. She was my cheerleader. And now I don't know that I can be that guy without her. So he's lost all the way around, and he's going to realize that, and that is going to haunt him because he didn't just lose you. He lost everything that he could have had and the person he could have been when he left you. I had a man one time tell me that he said, you're the kind of woman that makes a man want to be a better man. Ladies, you need to be that woman. You need to be the woman that inspires a man to his highest level of achievement, of success that he can be. And men will admit that. Men will easily say, I want to be that guy, and this woman helps me to be that guy. But if he doesn't value you at the time, he is going to look for you in every woman that he dates. It's almost like the more you shine, the more you excel, the lower he gets. You're not shining and excelling to put him down. He automatically is going to put himself in this position that he is in more regret months later after breaking up with you than he was the day he broke up with you. Now, scenario number 2, let's say you weren't a great woman. You were a little crazy. You had some emotional highs, emotional lows. You were drama mama. You were jealous. You were controlling. Let's just say you didn't show up as your best self. And sometimes when we have a man that's just pushing our buttons, or he's pulling a lot of foolishness on us, we do get a little crazy. I have been in relationships where I looked back and thought, wow, I did not handle myself really well in that situation. I was not as classy as I could have been. I was not as controlled. I was not as graceful, as elegant, as confident. I just wasn't who I wanted to be, and I regret that I looked that way. Well, then this part is for you. Become that woman. Become that high value woman. Look at yourself in a very humble way and say, there's 10 things that I really don't like about myself. Let me take time and work on each one of those. And ladies, I have all of that on my website. I have a whole list of 35 high value traits on my e-course called She's the One. How to be the one he can't live without, how to be the one he regrets losing. So if you think, you know what, I need to work on myself a little bit, get one of those e-courses, start working on yourself, and I guarantee you he's going to notice. In fact, I have had men tell me when they've broken up with a woman, and then that woman does go into a huge season of transformation, she becomes this wonderful, high-value woman, the man will often say, why didn't she do that when I was with her? Look at all the great things she's doing. Look at how she's getting so fit. She seems to be having so much fun. She's more outgoing. She's more adventurous. She's more flirty. She laughs more. She's no drama. It appears that she is just really transformed. Why didn't she do that when she was with me? So he could be with somebody else in his life. I know a guy who even married someone else, but now his ex haunts him because he goes, you know, I thought the grass would be greener. I thought leaving her, I would find somebody else that was better because my ex had a lot of flaws. But now I'm with a woman that has just as many flaws, and my ex has actually risen up. She's become the woman that I always wanted her to be, and I lost it. Ladies, that is how you haunt your ex. Again, you don't do it for them. You don't do it to get even or to slap him with a little bit of karma, even though I know that feels really good. You just become wonderful, beautiful, amazing you. You have one life to live, and I really want to see you shine in that one life that you have. And by default, you haunt him. It's not like you're deliberately going into his dreams at night and whispering things in his ear and making him regret losing you. He just sees you living life wonderfully, and he regrets it. Ladies, I want to see you win in every single area of your life. Hit the like, hit the follow. I would appreciate it. God bless you guys, and I will see you in the next video.